Hello. I was just thinking there's not many good care videos out there for tomato frogs, so I thought I'd make one myself because I've had these tomato frogs for about 8 months now, and I've researched a lot of different care sheets, and I think I know pretty well how to look after them. So I'm going to be doing a care video for false tomato frogs. I cannot remember the Latin name. I will put that in the description. Sorry that I can't remember that, but it's just something you don't really remember off the top of your head. So let's get on with it. Basically, tomato frogs are really good frogs to have as pets. They're really good beginner pets, which people say they're not, which annoys me. They say tomato frogs aren't hardy. They are very hardy frogs. One of the hardiest frogs I've seen, which is crazy. So the males get about 2 inches. The females get about 3.5 inches to 4 inches. So and whenever I'm talking in this video and I say baby, by baby what I mean is any frog that is under, well, any false tomato frog that is under 2 inches. So if I say care video, so if I say feeding for a baby, I mean any frog that's under 2 inches. You can actually see one of them now, just sat there watching me, and the other one's there. The temperament is quite good. One of them hisses at me now, and that's only just occurred recently. But they're not really vicious frogs. They won't go for you. They might think you're rude and flick their tongue at you, but they're not really gonna really go for you. Sorry if the camera's a bit dodgy, because the zoom seems to be really stupid on the iPhone. So yeah, the temperament's pretty damn well, and I wouldn't advise handling frogs anyway, but if you want to health check them, they're pretty okay. Sometimes they can be jumpy, but I've never seen them very vicious. The tank, when they are babies, or just one adult male, I would say something like, something like that. That is a lot, sorry about the light, it don't really matter, but that's a large, flat, Ferrarium, whatever they're called, but the Exoterras, and that's good for one male or two baby females, or any babies really. That works pretty damn well. And I've got my two females in this 45x45. They're not fully grown yet, but they're still growing, but they're big enough to be in this tank instead of the flat Exoterra, because it was getting a bit cramped for them. The substrate, if they're in the Exoterra, I'd just advise moss, because you don't really need much more, and I'd just advise sphagnum moss. Sorry if I say anything wrong, sorry about that, but yeah, I just advise just moss. You can use either the one that comes in the bags and it's already grown or expanded, or you can just use the ones that you expand yourself and just fill as much as you feel is necessary. And if it's in a bigger tank like this, you'll see that I have some of that soil. It's that soil that you put in and it expands. I can't remember the name. There's like 5 different brands. Any of them, use any of them. It don't really matter. But yeah, I just have that as the bottom level. They don't even really dig into it, because you notice the frogs, they're not really digging into it. They're just in top at moss, so it's not really needed. But I just like to. I don't really want it to just be glass on the bottom. I think it looks better like this. Plus, sometimes they might dig down, like you can see there, a frog made a hide, and it was just on the top of the moss. I mean, on top of the soil, and also the soil stops it from the heat mat getting through and burning them. Because I like to have it as an embankment for moss, because if they want it to be quite warm, they can go to the bottom where the soil is, and if they want it cool, they can go further up, so that they won't burn themselves, and they've got a place to get away, plus they've got the water bowls to sit in whenever they want. The temperature for babies is 25 Celsius. For adults it is 27, 28, and you turn it up when they get to 2 inches. So a fully grown male or a still growing female. So you don't want it to be 28, 27, 28 when the babies, because you just don't like it. And you can keep it as 25 all the time. It's just when they grow older, they do prefer a bit warmer temperatures for some bizarre reason. They just do. The humidity at the moment, I think it's 78, and that's pretty perfect. That's why I have the 2 water bowls in and the fogger. The fogger comes on 4 times a day, and it does a pretty good job of keeping the humidity up. But I still spray it once a day. If you don't have a fogger and you still have a water bowl in, you need a water bowl for these frogs. But I'll get onto that in a second. But yeah, I've lost my train of thought. For the fogger, you don't really need it. But if you do have a fogger, just have it on 4 times a day, every 6 hours for about 15 minutes, and then spray it just once at night. That's all I do. Or if you don't have a fogger, just spray it 2-3 times a day. You don't even, preferably 2, but you can spray it a bit more if you notice if you're noticing that it's getting quite warm. The food, you just go up the sizes really. When I got them, they were about an inch, and I think they were on 3s or 4s crickets, and then they're on standards, and now they're on medium locust. When they're fully grown, they'll probably be on a decent sized locust, not the biggest ones, but yeah, something like that, and that'll keep them quite happy. And I give them, when the babies, you feed them 10 each a day. 10 each. So it sounds like a lot, but for a frog it's not. They'll easily eat it up, and if they don't want to eat it, they won't. They can get fat, this species, but I've noticed with mine, if they don't want to eat, they just won't. But they're usually always hungry, so when the babies, you feed them every day. You feed them 10 crickets each a day, and when they're older, you move it to, when they get to 2 inches, when that's an adult size for a male or still growing female, you're going to move on to every 3 days, and you feed them 10 still, but it's every 3 days. You can feed them a bit more as treats, but I'd only keep them on crickets and locusts, because that's just what they prefer, and they seem to like to ambush their prey, so it's preferably just feed them locust crickets, because they're best for them. The water, I change the water whenever it gets mucky. Like, they haven't even been in this, and I've changed it 3 days ago, and there's no need for changing it if it's clean. The only time I really do clean it out is when it's got poo in it, because that can it can get what's the word? It can get dirty really quick if it's got poo in it. So if you see poo in the water bowl, just empty the water bowl, and that'll be fine. But yeah, just change it whenever you feel necessary, whenever it's dirty. It's no need to do it daily. Some people say do it daily, but there's no need. Because sometimes they don't even go in it, so there's not much really point. And for cleaning them, I just clean out the moss once a month, because it gets quite pooey. But yeah, just clean the moss out once a month, and clean the soil out. If you're in this bigger enclosure, clean the soil out every 6 months or so. You can just pick the poo out, and rarely even touch the soil, so it don't even really matter. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I'm sorry that it's been a bit boring in just staring at the tank, but I can't really do much because they're not a really active species. And I will be doing a feeding video for them. But yeah, I just wanted to do a video because you don't really see many good ones out there. The ones I've actually watched, most of the facts are right, but some of them are really wrong. Like, someone says they're not hardy frogs, they are, trust me. But if you've got any questions and I've missed anything, just ask me and I'll put it in the description. I'll reply to you and put it in the description. Sorry if this is a bit unclear, but it's my first video, and hopefully I haven't missed anything. So I will be doing a feeding video, and they'll be out, because I don't really want to dig them out, because I dig them out when I feed them, just to make sure that they get enough each. And yeah, that's just them. Thank you for watching. See you in a bit.